Ladies and gentlemen, today I invite you to step into a world where discipline is freedom, where silence speaks louder than noise, and where the greatest battles are fought not on the battlefield, but within the human heart. This is the Shaolin way, a timeless path that for centuries has forged warriors of unshakable mind and unbreakable spirit. In the Shaolin temple, every day is a test. The body is pushed to its limits, the mind is sharpened like a blade, and the spirit is tempered in the fire of relentless practice. But this is not about learning to fight others, it's about learning to conquer yourself. We live in an age where distractions are constant, where fear, stress, and self-doubt creep in silently. The Shaolin way offers an antidote, a system of living that transforms weakness into strength, chaos into calm, and hesitation into decisive action. Over the next 17 sections, we'll walk together through the principles that can change your life, not just in theory, but in action. So take a deep breath, center your thoughts, and prepare. Because the path you are about to hear is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who choose to rise. Begin with stillness. In the Shaolin way of life, true mastery does not begin with movement, it begins with stillness. The very first lesson a monk learns is not how to punch, kick, or leap, it's how to sit. To the untrained eye, this might seem simple, almost too simple. But stillness is not the absence of action, it is the foundation for every action that follows. Think about it. If your mind is restless, scattered, and constantly pulled in every direction, it doesn't matter how strong your body is, you will still be weak. Your power will leak away through every distraction, every emotional reaction, every unguarded thought. The Shaolin understand this deeply. They know that before you can control your body, you must first command your mind. That is why meditation is the starting point. 10 minutes of seated stillness every day can transform not only your thoughts, but your entire state of being. You begin simply, sitting upright, spine straight, eyes gently closed, and your focus anchored to the breath. As you inhale, you feel the air filling your lungs. As you exhale, you release the noise, the tension, the chaos of the outside world. At first, your mind will resist. Thoughts will race, your body will fidget, and the urge to do something will be overwhelming. This is normal. In fact, this is the first battle of the Shaolin path, the battle against your own impatience. The ability to stay still when every part of you wants to move is the seed of mental strength. The monks say, if you cannot sit for 10 minutes without moving, how will you stand for an hour without falling? If you cannot calm your mind in silence, how will you keep it steady in chaos? This is why they treat stillness as training, not as rest. It is an exercise in mastery, in discipline, in holding your ground against the storms inside your own head. The benefits of beginning with stillness are profound. First, it sharpens your awareness. You become more present in each moment, noticing details you used to overlook. Second, it strengthens your self-control. You learn to respond rather than react. And third, it builds emotional resilience. By observing your thoughts and feelings without being consumed by them, you create a deep well of inner calm. You don't need a temple courtyard or a mountain sunrise to start this practice. You can begin right where you are, at home, in a quiet corner, or even in your parked car before work. The important thing is consistency. A few minutes every morning is better than an hour once a month. Over time, that stillness will follow you into the rest of your day, into conversations, challenges, and decisions, making you unshakable in moments where others would lose control. So, the Shaolin way begins not with action, but with a pause. Before you chase your goals, before you fight your battles, before you take on the world, sit, breathe, be still. For it is in stillness that the mind is sharpened, the spirit is strengthened, and the warrior within you is born. Respect the morning ritual. In the Shaolin way of life, the day doesn't begin when the sun rises. It begins when you rise. And the first thing a monk learns is to treat the morning as sacred. They don't roll out of bed lazily, groaning into the day. They rise with purpose because how you start your morning shapes the strength of your mind and spirit for the hours that follow. Shaolin monks wake before dawn, when the world is still quiet. The air is cool, the mind is fresh, and distractions have not yet taken hold. This early hour isn't chosen for comfort, it's chosen for discipline. By waking up early, you take control of your time. You're no longer rushing to catch up. Instead, you're already ahead, moving at your own pace. The morning ritual isn't just about what you do, it's about how you do it. Every action, from making the bed to drinking the first glass of water, is done with mindfulness. There's no rushing, no mindless scrolling on a phone, no letting the mind drift into chaos. The Shaolin understand that the energy you bring into the morning becomes the energy you carry into the entire day. Here's the principle. If the first hour of your day is scattered, reactive, and distracted, your whole day will reflect that. But if your morning is deliberate, focused, and disciplined, you carry that clarity into every challenge you face. In the temple, the monks begin with simple yet powerful habits. They stretch to awaken the body, meditate to center the mind, and practice breathing to fill themselves with calm energy. Then, they move into physical training. Martial arts drills, stances, and exercises that build both strength and mental focus. You might not live in a monastery, but you can still create a morning ritual that mirrors the Shaolin discipline. You can choose to wake up earlier than you need to give yourself time for activities that nourish your mind, body, and spirit before the demands of the day hit you. That could mean 10 minutes of meditation, a light workout, writing down your priorities, or simply sitting in silence with a warm drink. The key is consistency. The Shaolin way teaches that discipline is built in the moments no one sees. Every time you get up early when it would be easier to sleep in, you strengthen your willpower. Every time you follow your morning ritual, instead of drifting aimlessly, you remind yourself that you are in charge, not your mood, not the weather, not your circumstances. A Shaolin monk doesn't wait for the day to happen. They shape it before it even begins, and so can you. So tomorrow, when the alarm rings, don't think of it as the end of sleep. Think of it as the beginning of mastery. Rise with purpose, follow your ritual, and claim the day before the world even knows you're awake. Discipline over motivation. One of the greatest lessons the Shaolin way teaches is this. Motivation is temporary, but discipline is permanent. Motivation is like a spark. It flares up brightly but fades quickly. Discipline is the steady flame that burns no matter the weather. When you rely on motivation, you train only when you feel like it. You push forward only when inspiration strikes. But feelings are fickle. They change with your mood, your energy level, or the challenges you face that day. The Shaolin monks cannot afford to be ruled by moods. If they trained only when they felt inspired, their skills would never reach mastery. Discipline, however, is different. Discipline is a choice you make and honor, regardless of whether the conditions are ideal. It's the decision to show up every day, rain or shine, tired or energized, inspired or indifferent. In the monastery, training is not optional. It's not negotiated. It's part of life, as natural and necessary as eating or breathing. This approach to life transforms you. When you stop asking, "Do I feel like doing this?" and start saying, "It's time, so I will," you remove the endless debates in your head. You stop wasting energy on deciding and start investing that energy into doing. The Shaolin see discipline as freedom. At first, that might sound like a contradiction. How can following strict rules feel free? But think about it. When you are disciplined, you are free from procrastination, free from regret, free from the chaos of inconsistent effort. You know exactly what needs to be done, and you do it. That clarity is powerful. Discipline also protects you in hard times. When life gets difficult, when motivation disappears completely, discipline keeps you moving forward. It becomes your safety net, ensuring that you continue to progress even when you feel no inspiration at all. This is why monks train in extreme kondi. Itians, in cold, in heat, in fatigue. They're not just building physical endurance, they're teaching their minds that action is not dependent on comfort. You don't have to live in a temple to apply this. You can start with one simple, non-negotiable habit. Maybe it's 10 minutes of training every morning, no matter what. Maybe it's writing 1 page a day, even when you're tired. The point is to train your brain to follow through without needing an emotional push every time. The Shaolin way is clear. Mastery doesn't come to those who wait for the perfect moment. It comes to those who train through every moment. Motivation might get you started, but discipline is what carries you across the finish line. So stop waiting to feel ready. The truth is, most days you won't. Instead, decide who you want to be, set the standard, and show up for yourself every single day. Because in the end, it's not the motivated who succeed, it's the disciplined. Train the body, sharpen the mind. In the Shaolin tradition, the body and mind are not separate, they are one. The monks know that if you train the body without training the mind, you become strong but unfocused. And if you train the mind without training the body, you become wise but weak. True mastery comes from developing both together. Every movement in Shaolin martial arts is more than a physical technique. It's a mental exercise. A punch is not just about muscle. It's about timing, precision, and control. A kick is not just about power. It's about balance, patience, and awareness. When a monk trains, they are sharpening their mind with every stance, strike, and breath. The discipline required for physical training builds mental resilience. Holding a stance for minutes on end isn't just about leg strength, it's about silencing the voice in your head that says, "I can't do this." Pushing through the discomfort of a long drill teaches your mind to stay calm under pressure, to endure when it's easier to quit. And the connection works both ways. A strong mind improves the body's performance. When your mind is focused, you waste no energy on doubt or distraction. You channel every bit of effort into the movement at hand. This is why Shaolin monks can perform feats that seem impossible. Breaking bricks, balancing on narrow poles, holding extreme positions for long periods. It's not just muscle. It's mental mastery directing that muscle. The Shaolin also understand that physical training is a form of meditation. Repetitive drills, practiced with full attention, quiet the mind, just like sitting meditation. Your focus narrows to the feel of your stance, the rhythm of your breath, the flow of your movement. In that moment, nothing exists except you and the practice. This state of complete presence is where both mental clarity and physical skill grow. In the modern world, you can apply this principle by making your workouts mindful. Don't just go through the motions at the gym or during exercise. Pay attention to your posture, your breathing, and your form. Challenge yourself to push a little further than your comfort zone, not recklessly, but with awareness. The Shaolin way teaches that when you improve your body, you also improve your mind. Strength gives you confidence. Endurance gives you patience. Flexibility teaches you adaptability. And each of these mental qualities carries over into every area of your life, from work to relationships to personal growth. So if you want a sharper mind, train your body. If you want a stronger body, train your mind. Follow the Shaolin path. Make every movement a lesson in discipline, every repetition a lesson in focus, and every training session a lesson in resilience. Because the warrior who trains both body and mind becomes unstoppable, not through brute force, but through perfect balance. Pain is the teacher. In the Shaolin temple, pain is not the enemy, it is the instructor. While most of the world spends its energy avoiding discomfort, the monks embrace it, study it, and learn from it. They understand that pain is a messenger, and if you listen to its lessons, it can transform you. From the first day of training, a Shaolin student is introduced to physical challenges that test their limits. Endless horse stances until the legs burn, knuckle push-ups on wooden floors until the hands ache, stretching drills that seem impossible, Each session deliberately brings the body to the edge. But here's the difference. They don't see this as suffering. They see it as teaching. Pain teaches patience. When your muscles shake and your breath becomes heavy, the first instinct is to quit. But the longer you stay, the more you learn that discomfort is not a signal to stop. It's a signal to grow. Every second you endure builds mental toughness that will serve you not just in training, but in life. Pain teaches humility. In the Shaolin temple, no one is too advanced to struggle. Even the most skilled masters feel the sting of intense training. This shared hardship creates respect for the process, for the discipline, and for those who walk the path beside you. Pain teaches awareness. Not all pain is destructive. Some is a sign of growth, and some is a warning. The monks learn to distinguish between the pain that builds them and the pain that harms them. This awareness helps them train smarter, recover better, and respect their own limits while still pushing them further. In life, pain is not always physical. It can come as failure, rejection, or loss. But the Shaolin mindset treats emotional and mental pain the same way as physical pain. Acknowledge it, learn from it, and use it as fuel. If you avoid all pain, you also avoid growth. You can apply this in your own journey by Sika. Hanging how you think about discomfort. The next time you feel resistance, whether it's the burn of a workout, the frustration of learning a new skill, or the sting of criticism, pause and ask yourself, what is this teaching me? If you stay open to the lesson, every challenge becomes an opportunity. The Shaolin way is not about seeking pain for its own sake. It's about refusing to let pain control you. When you train with it, rather than against it, you develop a quiet confidence. You stop fearing what's hard, because you know you've already faced and overcome difficult things before. So the next time you encounter pain, remember, it's not here to break you. It's here to shape you. And if you listen closely, you'll find that your greatest teacher may be the challenge you wanted to avoid the most. Control your breath, control your life. Among the many skills the Shaolin monks master, none is more fundamental and more powerful than the art of controlling the breath. To an outsider, breathing might seem automatic, something the body does without thought. But to the Shaolin, the breath is not just air, it is life energy, or qi. Master the breath, and you master your body, your mind, and your emotions. Every training session in the Shaolin temple begins and ends with breathing exercises. Before they throw a punch, before they leap into a kick, before they meditate, they breathe. Deep, controlled, intentional breaths are the foundation for every movement and every state of mind they wish to create. Why? Because breath is the bridge between body and mind. When you breathe slowly and deeply, you calm your nervous system, lowering stress and sharpening focus. When you breathe quickly and powerfully, you energize the body, awaken the senses, and prepare for action. In combat training, controlling the breath can mean the difference between exhaustion and endurance. A monk who panics and breathes shallowly will tire quickly, lose focus, and make mistakes. But one who breathes steadily, even under pressure, conserves energy and remains in control, not just of their movements, but of the situation itself. Shaolin breathing techniques are precise. One common method is abdominal breathing, where the inhale expands the belly instead of the chest. This draws air deeper into the lungs, increasing oxygen intake and fueling the body more efficiently. Another is the coordinated breath, exhaling during strikes or moments of exertion to release tension and maximize power, and inhaling during recovery to restore energy. But breath control isn't just about physical performance, it's also about emotional mastery. The monks use breathing to maintain composure in the face of stress, anger, or fear. When emotions rise, the breath tends to shorten and quicken, which in turn heightens those emotions. By consciously slowing and deepening the breath, they reverse this spiral, bringing the mind back to calm. You can apply this in everyday life. Before a big meeting, take a moment to breathe deeply and evenly. You'll walk in calmer and more focused. When faced with a stressful situation, pause and inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4. You'll feel your heart rate steady and your thoughts clear. The Shaolin believe that if you control your breath, you can control your life. You can choose your energy, choose your focus, and choose your emotional state, regardless of what's happening around you. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, distracted, or drained, remember this simple but powerful truth. Your breath is your anchor. It is always with you, always ready to bring you back to center, and always capable of turning chaos into calm. In the Shaolin way, the first battle is with yourself, and your breath is your greatest weapon. Respect the masters. Learn from all. In the Shaolin temple, every student bows before their master, not as a sign of weakness, but as a recognition of gratitude and respect. The Shaolin way teaches that knowledge is a gift, and those who pass it on deserve honor. But here's the deeper truth. While the monks hold great respect for their masters, they also believe that every person you meet can be a teacher. In the monastery, the master's wisdom is valued because it comes from decades, sometimes a lifetime, of discipline, failure, and growth. A single lesson from them can save you years of struggle. Their eyes have seen challenges you have yet to face, and their corrections are forged from the same path you now walk. Respecting the master means respecting the journey and acknowledging that wisdom is earned, not given. But the Shaolin way doesn't stop there. The monks are also taught to remain open to learning from everyone, regardless of rank, age, or background. They know that arrogance is the enemy of growth. If you believe you already know everything, you close yourself off to new ideas, insights, and perspectives that could make you stronger. Sometimes, the most valuable lesson doesn't come from the highest master, but from the person you least expect. A fellow student who notices a flaw in your stance, a child whose persistence inspires you, or even an opponent whose skill forces you to adapt. Every interaction becomes a training ground for humility and learning. This mindset is powerful in the modern world too. In work, relationships, and personal growth, those who rise fastest are the ones who are humble enough to keep learning. You may be an expert in one area, but there's always someone who can teach you something new if you're willing to listen. The Shaolin also understand that respect is not just about words, it's about action. Listening fully when someone speaks, following guidance without resistance, showing gratitude for the time and energy a teacher invests in you, these are all part of the practice. Respect builds trust, and trust opens the door to deeper teaching. There's a saying in the temple, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. But the unspoken truth is this. The teacher might already be standing right in front of you. They might be in the form of a mentor, a stranger, a friend, or even an enemy. The question is whether your mind is open enough to recognize the lesson. So to live the Shaolin way, bow to your masters, but also bow inwardly to every lesson life offers. Treat every person you meet as a potential teacher, and treat every moment as a chance to learn. Because the true warrior is not just the one who trains hard, but the one who remains a student, forever humble, forever curious, and forever willing to grow. Mental endurance training. In the Shaolin temple, strength is not measured only by how hard you can strike or how fast you can move. It is also measured by how long you can endure. Mental endurance is the ability to keep going long after your mind whispers, enough. And in the Shaolin way, this is one of the most important skills a warrior can develop. The monks understand a simple truth. The body often has far more to give, but the mind quits first. To train past that point, they engage in repetitive, exhausting drills, not to punish the body, but to strengthen the mind. Endless stances held until the legs tremble, forms practiced hundreds of times until the muscles ache, meditation in uncomfortable postures for hours. These challenges are designed to teach patience, focus, and resilience. Why is this so powerful? Because when you repeatedly push past your mental limits, you redefine them. The first time you try to hold a horse stance for 5 minutes, your legs scream for release. The next time, you last 6 minutes, then 8. And slowly, what once felt impossible becomes your new standard. Mental endurance is not built in a single session, it's forged over time. Each small victory against your own mind adds another layer of toughness. And just like sharpening a blade, the process requires friction. You cannot build endurance in comfort. The Shaolin way also trains mental endurance through stillness, not just movement. Long meditation sessions are as much about endurance as physical training. Sitting in complete silence, resisting the urge to fidget, letting go of restless thoughts. This is a test of will, as demanding as any physical drill. It teaches you to stay present and unshaken, even when discomfort grows. In everyday life, this kind of endurance is what allows you to finish what you start. It's what keeps you studying when the material gets hard, working toward a goal when the results are slow, or staying calm in a conflict when emotions run high. You can start building it the same way the monks do, by deliberately challenging yourself to stay in difficult situations just a little longer than you want to. When you feel like quitting a task, set a timer for 2 more minutes and keep going. When you're exercising, push for 1 extra rep. When you're learning something new, commit to 5 more minutes of focus before you stop. Over time, these small moments train your mind to be steady and unyielding. You'll find that stress doesn't rattle you as easily, setbacks don't derail you, and pressure doesn't cause you to break. The Shaolin know that in both battle and life, the one who can endure longer often wins, not because they are stronger from the start, but because they refuse to give in when others do. So train your body, yes, but train your endurance even more. Because in the long game of life, your greatest weapon is not speed or strength. It's the ability to keep going when everyone else has stopped. Guard your focus like a fortress. In the Shaolin temple, every strike, every stance, every movement is performed with complete concentration. Distraction is not an option, because a single lapse in focus can break your form, ruin your balance, or leave you vulnerable. The monks treat focus as their most valuable resource, and they guard it the way a fortress guards its gates. They know that energy follows attention. If your attention is scattered, your power is scattered. But if your attention is locked in on a single target, you can channel all your energy, skill, and intent toward it with maximum force. This is true whether you're breaking a brick, mastering a kata, or navigating a challenge in life. In training, Shaolin masters deliberately test their students' focus. They might have them practice forms while noise and movement swirl around them, teaching them to keep their eyes and mind fixed on their task. Or they might require them to hold a stance for long periods while resisting the urge to look away. This isn't just physical conditioning, it's mental conditioning to block out distractions. In our modern world, distractions are everywhere. Phones buzzing, notifications pinging, endless feeds begging for your attention. If you allow every distraction in, your focus becomes like an open fortress gate, letting anything and everything drain your energy. The Shaolin way demands the opposite. Close the gate. Let in only what serves your purpose. Guarding your focus means setting clear boundaries. When you train, No multitasking, no checking messages between sets. When you work, No jumping from one task to another without finishing the first. This level of discipline turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results because your mind is fully present. Another key Shaolin principle is to focus on one thing at a time. A monk does not think about the next strike while executing the current one. They don't let the mind run ahead. They stay in the exact moment they're in. This prevents mistakes, conserves mental energy, and produces precision. You can bring this into your own life by practicing single tasking. Choose one thing that matters most right now and pour your attention into it. Shut out unrelated thoughts, put your phone on silent, and commit to finishing before moving on. Even 30 minutes of pure, uninterrupted focus can accomplish more than hours of distracted effort. And here's the truth. The more you protect your focus, the stronger it becomes. Just like training a muscle, the act of saying no to distraction builds your ability to say yes to what truly matters. The Shaolin know that in both martial arts and life, the mind that is scattered cannot win. But the mind that is sharp, steady, and guarded is unstoppable. So guard your focus like a fortress. Decide what gets in, decide what stays out, and give your energy only to what moves you forward. Because where your focus goes, your power flows. The power of ritual discipline. In the Shaolin Temple, nothing is done by accident. Every movement, every bow, every breath follows a structure. To the casual observer, it may seem repetitive, even rigid, but to the monks, this ritual discipline is the very backbone of mastery. Ritual is not about superstition, it's about intention. Every action is performed with full presence, and over time, this transforms even the simplest acts into powerful training for the mind and spirit. When a Shaolin monk sweeps the training hall, he doesn't rush through it to get it done. He moves with precision, aware of every motion. When he eats, he doesn't scroll through distractions or hurry to the next task. He eats slowly, mindfully, aware of taste, texture, and gratitude for the meal. Why is this important? Because discipline isn't built only in the big moments. It's forged in the small ones. If you're careless in the little things, it's only a matter of time before that carelessness seeps into the bigger ones. The Shaolin know that the way you do anything is the way you do everything. By living with ritual discipline, they train their minds to approach each task, no matter how ordinary, with the same focus and respect as a martial arts form or meditation. This strengthens their ability to stay present and sharp in every moment of life, whether they're in the training hall or facing a real challenge outside it. Another benefit of ritual is that it removes hesitation. When you have a set way of doing things, you don't waste energy deciding how to do them. You simply do them. A monk doesn't wake up and wonder whether he will train today. The training is part of the day, just like breathing. This consistency builds not only skill but identity. The act becomes part of who you are. You can apply this in your own life by creating small daily rituals for the things that matter most to you. It could be a morning routine you follow without fail, a set way you prepare for work, or a mindful practice before bed. The key is to treat these rituals as non-negotiable, whether you feel like it or not. The Shaolin also use rituals to maintain emotional balance. Before beginning training, they bow to show humility and clear their mind. Before meals, they pause to feel gratitude and prepare their body for nourishment. These tiny pauses act as mental resets, helping them approach each new task with clarity, rather than carrying stress from the last one. Ritual discipline is about more than order. It's about training the mind to live deliberately. It teaches that mastery is not a single event, but 1,000 small, consistent actions performed with care. So build your own rituals, guard them, honor them, because in time they will shape your habits, your mindset, and ultimately your destiny. Master the art of recovery. The Shaolin way is built on intensity, discipline, and constant challenge. But here's a truth that surprises many. The monks also treat rest and recovery as sacred. They understand a principle that modern life often ignores. Growth happens not just in the moments of action, but in the spaces in between. In training, muscles are stressed, stretched, and even micro-torn. The mind is pushed to its limits. The spirit is tested. But it is in the moments of recovery, when the body repairs, when the mind processes lessons, when the spirit regains balance, that true strength is forged. Without recovery, training becomes destruction instead of development. Shaolin recovery is not lazy downtime, it's intentional restoration. After long hours of practice, monks engage in stretching to release tension, breathing exercises to calm the nervous system, and meditation to settle the mind. Their meals are simple but nourishing, chosen to fuel healing rather than indulgence. They rest not as an escape, but as part of the path. This balance is critical. A warrior who never rests will burn out. A mind that never pauses will cloud over. A spirit that is constantly pushed without renewal will eventually break. The Shaolin see recovery as an equal partner to effort. One sharpens the blade, the other preserves it. You can apply this principle in your own life by shifting how you view rest. Too many people see it as weakness or wasted time, but recovery is a form of discipline. It's the choice to care for your long-term strength rather than chase short-term output. That means getting enough sleep, eating foods that truly fuel you, and taking time to recharge your mind through mindfulness, hobbies, or simply moments of stillness. The monks also teach that recovery is not only physical. Mental recovery is just as vital. After periods of intense focus, they take time to step away, allowing the mind to reset. This prevents decision fatigue and keeps their thinking sharp. Emotional recovery is practiced through meditation, chanting, or time in nature, releasing stored stress and returning to inner peace. One of the most overlooked aspects of the Shaolin recovery process is active rest. Instead of collapsing into inactivity, they engage in low-intensity activities that promote blood flow and healing. Light forms, slow stretching, walking meditations. This keeps the body moving without adding strain, speeding up the repair process. So in your own path, remember, rest is not the opposite of work. It's a part of work. Just as a bow must be unstrung after use to maintain its strength, you too must give yourself moments of release to maintain yours. The Shaolin Way is not a sprint, it's a lifelong journey. To walk it with power, you must master not just the art of pushing forward, but the art of stepping back. Serve a greater purpose. In the Shaolin Temple, training is never just about the self. Yes, the monks develop incredible strength, speed, and mental focus, but these abilities are not cultivated for ego or personal glory. They are built to serve something far greater than the individual. Purpose is the invisible thread that runs through every punch, every meditation, every act of discipline. From the moment a student enters the temple, they are taught that the ultimate goal of their training is not domination, but contribution. A Shaolin warrior is a protector, not an aggressor. Their strength exists to defend the weak, preserve peace, and honor the traditions that have been passed down for centuries. This higher purpose fuels their discipline. When your actions serve only yourself, it's easy to quit when things get hard. But when you connect your effort to something bigger, whether it's your family, your community, your principles, or your faith, you tap into a source of motivation far deeper than comfort or personal ambition. Serving a greater purpose also keeps the ego in check. In martial arts, skill without humility can be dangerous. The Shaolin Way uses service as a safeguard, reminding the monk that no matter how powerful they become, they are still a servant to the greater good. The concept of service extends beyond physical protection. It means uplifting those around you, passing on knowledge, and being a living example of discipline and integrity. A monk's presence should inspire others to stand taller, live better, and seek their own path of growth. In your own life, finding a greater purpose can change everything. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Who benefits from my growth? Who am I helping by becoming stronger, wiser, and more disciplined? When your answer connects to something beyond yourself, you'll find that the days you want to quit become the days you dig the deepest. The Shaolin understand that serving a greater purpose does not mean neglecting the self. It means developing the self so that you have more to give. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Strength, wisdom, and skill are the tools. Service is the mission. Purpose also gives meaning to sacrifice, waking up early, enduring discomfort, practicing humility. These are not burdens when they are in service to something you believe in. They are investments. And investments in a worthy cause always pay the highest return. Not in money, but in fulfillment and legacy. So, as you walk your own path, remember, strength is not an end, it's a means. And the greatest use of that strength is to serve. Because when your purpose is greater than yourself, your resolve becomes unbreakable. And in the Shaolin Way, an unbreakable spirit is the highest form of mastery. Face fear daily. In the Shaolin Temple, fear is not an enemy to be avoided. It is a gate to be walked through. The monks know that on the other side of fear lies growth. and that the only way to build true courage is to face fear regularly, not occasionally. From the first day of training, Shaolin students are put in situations that challenge them both physically and mentally. They might be asked to balance on narrow beams at great heights, endure grueling endurance drills, or spar with more experienced fighters. These moments are not designed to break them. They are designed to show them that fear can be mastered. The monks understand that fear is a natural response. It is the body's way of preparing for the unknown, flooding you with adrenaline, sharpening your senses, and getting you ready for action. But left unchecked, fear can also paralyze you. The Shaolin way is to transform fear from a barrier into a tool. One of the ways they do this is through incremental exposure, facing fear in small, controlled doses until the mind and body adapt. A student might start by practicing a difficult move at ground level before performing it at height. Or they might begin sparring slowly with light contact before building up to full intensity. Each time they succeed, their confidence grows and the fear loses some of its power. But the monks also know that not all fear is physical. Fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of the unknown, these can be even more limiting. That's why they train the mind as much as the body, using meditation and mindfulness to observe fear without being consumed by it. Instead of saying, "I am afraid," they learn to say, "I feel fear, but I'm still in control." Facing fear daily also builds resilience. When you voluntarily step into situations that make you uncomfortable, you teach yourself that discomfort is survivable. Over time, your threshold for fear rises. What once seemed impossible becomes routine. And when a real challenge appears, whether in training or in life, you have the mental armor to face it head-on. In your own life, this practice might mean having a difficult conversation you've been avoiding, taking on a project that intimidates you, or pushing yourself in training beyond what feels safe but within reason. The key is to choose challenges that stretch you without recklessly endangering you. The Shaolin way teaches that courage is not the absence of fear. It is the choice to act despite it. And the more you make that choice, the more natural it becomes. So ask yourself, what fear can I face today? Not next week, not someday, today. Because if you can face fear daily, fear will stop ruling you. And when fear loses its power over you, your spirit becomes truly unshakable. Harness the power of the present moment. In the Shaolin temple, there is a saying, regret belongs to the past, anxiety belongs to the future, strength lives only in the present. This is not just philosophy, it's a way of life. The monks understand that the only time you truly have power is right now. If your mind is caught in yesterday's mistakes or tomorrow's worries, you are not living, you are drifting. Training in the Shaolin way demands full presence. When a monk holds a stance, every muscle, every breath, and every thought is committed to this moment. When they strike, there is no thinking about the last move or the next, only complete focus on the technique they are performing right now. This presence creates precision, and precision creates mastery. The power of the present moment lies in its ability to eliminate wasted energy. When your mind is anchored here and now, you're not burning focus on what-if scenarios or replaying things you can't change. You're channeling everything into the task in front of you. That's why the Shaolin can train for hours without mental fatigue. They aren't scattering their attention across time, they're keeping it rooted in one place. Mindfulness training is a big part of this practice. The monks meditate daily, not just to calm the mind, but to sharpen it. By focusing on the breath, the sound of their surroundings, or the rhythm of a movement, they build the habit of returning to the present whenever the mind wanders. This skill carries into sparring, physical conditioning, and even daily chores. In our modern world, the challenge is even greater. Phones buzz, notifications demand attention, and endless distractions pull us away from what's in front of us. The Shaolin approach is to guard presence as fiercely as they guard their focus. If you are eating, not checking your phone. If you are talking to someone, you are truly listening, not thinking about your reply while they speak. You can apply this by practicing single moment awareness. Whatever you are doing, training, working, resting, commit fully to it. If your mind drifts, gently bring it back. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to stay in the moment without force. Another benefit of presence is emotional control. Many fears and stresses exist only in our imagination, tied to the past or future. By staying present, you shrink their power. You deal with challenges as they come, not as endless mental rehearsals. The Shaolin know that life is made up of moments, and that mastery is built by winning one moment at a time. You don't need to conquer a whole year or even a whole day. You just need to master this moment and then the next and then the next. So when you step onto your path today, ask yourself, am I here fully, or is my mind somewhere else? Because strength, clarity, and peace are never out there. They're always right here in this breath, in this action, in this moment. Inner peace as the ultimate strength. In the Shaolin Temple, strength is not measured only by the speed of your strikes or the weight you can lift. True strength is measured by how still your mind can remain in the face of chaos. A monk who can remain calm when surrounded by noise, distraction, or even danger is far more powerful than one who panics, no matter how strong his body may be. The Shaolin understand that inner peace is not weakness. It is the highest form of control. Anyone can be calm when life is easy. The true test is to be calm when life is hard. In a fight, a frantic mind leads to mistakes. In life, a frantic mind leads to poor decisions. Inner peace allows you to think clearly, act decisively, and remain unshaken no matter what storm surrounds you. This peace is not something you stumble upon. It is something you cultivate daily. The monks achieve it through meditation, breath control, and mindful living. They begin their mornings not with rushing, but with stillness, aligning their mind before engaging the body. Throughout the day, they carry this centeredness into training, work, and even rest. A powerful technique they use is the pause before action. Whether they are about to throw a strike, make a decision, or respond to a situation, they take a brief moment to breathe and center themselves. This prevents reaction out of emotion and ensures action from clarity. Inner peace also means emotional mastery. Anger, fear, and frustration are natural human feelings, but the Shaolin teach that you are not a slave to them. When you can feel emotion without being ruled by it, you gain a level of freedom that few ever experience. A provocation cannot pull you into rage, an insult cannot shake your confidence, a setback cannot destroy your hope. You can start cultivating this peace in your own life by making small changes. Begin your day with a few minutes of silence before checking your phone or rushing into tasks. Practice mindful breathing when you feel stressed. Inhale slowly, hold, exhale, and repeat. When someone tries to provoke you, imagine their words as leaves floating on a stream, passing by, never sinking into you. The Shaolin know that life will always have storms. Trying to avoid them is impossible. Instead, they train to be the unmoving rock in the river. The current may rage, but it cannot move what is rooted in stillness. When you master inner peace, you gain the ability to choose your response in every situation. And that is the ultimate strength, not the ability to control others, but the ability to control yourself. So remember, muscles can fade, speed can slow, and even skill can decline with age. But inner peace, once mastered, becomes unshakable. And in the Shaolin way, that is the strength that lasts a lifetime. The path never ends. In the Shaolin Temple, there is no concept of arrival or completion when it comes to mastery. A monk may train for decades, yet every day he approaches his practice as a beginner. This mindset, known in many traditions as the beginner's mind, is the reason their skills, wisdom, and spirit continue to grow year after year without stagnation. The Shaolin Way teaches that the path is not a straight road with a finish line, it is a circle. You may revisit the same forms, the same meditations, the same lessons again and again, but each time with deeper understanding. The very techniques that seemed simple in your first year of training may reveal profound truths in your 10th. What changes is not the path, it is you. This is why the monks never become complacent. The moment you believe you have learned everything, you stop learning. The moment you think you are strong enough, you begin to weaken. Growth demands humility, the humility to recognize that there is always more to learn, more to refine, more to explore. The idea that the path never ends also removes the pressure of perfection. If there is no final destination, there is no need to rush. There is only the need to commit to the journey every single day. The reward is not in getting there, but in becoming someone stronger, wiser, and more centered along the way. The Shaolin also remind us that life itself is the training ground. You can spend hours in the temple perfecting your stances, but the real test is how you carry yourself when faced with the unpredictability of the world. Every challenge, every setback, every victory, it's all part of the path. In your own life, embracing the idea that the path never ends frees you from the illusion of someday. Too often people tell themselves, when I get this job, I'll be happy, or when I reach this milestone, I'll finally be at peace. But in the Shaolin Way, peace and mastery are not destinations, they are ways of walking. If you wait for a finish line, you'll miss the journey entirely. The beauty of an endless path is that you are never too late and never done. There is always room to grow, no matter your age, your past, or your current level of skill. Every day is a chance to take one more step. So when you think about your own goals, whether they're physical, mental, or spiritual, remember, this is not a race. You are not chasing a point in the distance. You are walking a living path, one that grows as you grow, one that will continue for as long as you breathe. In the Shaolin Way, the path never ends, because life never stops teaching. And the true warrior is not the one who reaches the end, but the one who keeps walking, no matter how far they have come. Walking the Shaolin Way. We have journeyed together through 17 powerful principles of the Shaolin Way, each one a stone in the path toward mental toughness, spiritual strength, and a life of discipline and purpose. From embracing discipline as freedom, to mastering presence, to finding inner peace that cannot be shaken, these are not just techniques of martial arts. They are philosophies for living. The Shaolin have survived for centuries, not because they are the strongest in muscle, but because they are the strongest in mind and spirit. Their teachings remind us that the greatest battles are not fought against an opponent, but against our own weaknesses, doubts, and fears. When you rise early and train your body, you are not just building muscle, you are proving to yourself that you can do hard things. When you face fear, instead of running from it, you show your spirit that it cannot be broken. When you stay present in each moment, you free yourself from the chains of regret and the prison of anxiety. And when you live for a greater purpose, your strength becomes a gift to the world, not just yourself. But perhaps the most important lesson of the Shaolin Way is this: the journey never ends. You do not wake up one day and declare yourself finished. There is no final level, no moment when you have made it. There is only the choice, every single day, to walk the path with intention, humility, and relentless effort. The Shaolin do not train for a trophy. They train for life itself, for the storms they cannot predict, for the battles they cannot see coming, for the inner demons that will visit them in moments of weakness. And so should you. You will stumble. You will face resistance. You will have days when the last thing you want to do is push forward. Those are the days that matter most, because those are the days you forge your character in fire. So remember, your body is a vessel, your mind is the captain, and your spirit is the compass. Keep them all sharp, keep them all aligned, and walk your path with the quiet confidence of a warrior who knows that every step is training, every breath is an opportunity, and every challenge is a chance to become more than you were yesterday. When you live this way, you don't just survive, you thrive. You don't just endure hardship, You transform it into strength. And you don't just move through life, you walk it like a Shaolin. The world will test you, but the Shaolin way will prepare you. You don't need to be born a warrior. You need only choose to walk the path. Discipline is the weapon, the mind is the shield, and the spirit is unbreakable. Your journey begins now, one step, one breath, one moment at a time.